The Red Hot Chili Peppers is the debut studio album by American funk rock band Red Hot Chili Peppers, released on August 10, 1984 on EMI America Records. The album was produced by Gang of Four guitarist Andy Gill, and is the only album to feature Jack Sherman on guitar, who was fired by the band at the end of the tour in support of the album and replaced by founding member, Hillel Slovak. Critical and commercial response. The Red Hot Chili Peppers was released with the Chili Peppers disappointed in the production. It failed to chart on the Billboard 200, reaching number 201. The album received college airplay and MTV rotation, and built the band's fan base. The reviews that were published of the album were mixed, with the first issue of Spin magazine giving, according to Anthony Kiedis in his autobiography Scar Tissue, a positive review. Stephen Thomas Eliwine of AllMusic gave the album a negative review, and stated that their first effort didn't quite gel into a cohesive album, giving the album only 2.5 stars out of 5. As of 2007, it has sold about 300,000 copies worldwide. Kiedis and Flea have mentioned over the years that they prefer the demo versions of most of these songs, which were recorded with the original lineup featuring Hillel Slovak and Jack Irons. However, the band acknowledged in various books that Jack Sherman's contributions to the band, particularly his knowledge of funk music and music theory, were things that helped the band's development, which they hadn't had with Hillel. Gwen Dickey, better known by her stage name, Rose Nault, provides backing vocals on Mommy, Where's Daddy? Dickey was the singer for the 70s hit-making group, Rose Royce. As of 2014, songs from the album have rarely been performed over the past 15 years. Out in LA was performed once during the band's 2004 Roll on the Red tour, while You Always Sing the Same was performed once on the 2002-03 By the Way tour. Green Heaven and Mommy, Where's Daddy were performed a few times on the band's 1999-01 Californication tour. Grand Papi Du Plenty has been the most performed song from the album in the past 15 years, being a mainstay of the One Hot Minute tour. In recent years it has been mostly used in jams and intros to other songs. True Men Don't Kill Coyotes was played occasionally after Sherman left, including once with John Frusciante on the Mother's Milk tour in the 80s, and then teased by the band once in 2007, but the full song was not played. Track listing: Personnel, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea Euro bass guitar, Anthony Kiedis Euro vocals, Cliff Martinez Euro drums, Jack Sherman Euro guitar, 2003 remastered version, Flea Euro bass guitar, Anthony Kiedis Euro vocals, Cliff Martinez Euro drums, Jack Sherman Euro guitar, Jack Irons Euro drums, Hillel Slovak Euro guitar. Additional musicians: Keith Barry Euro horn arrangements and viola, Cliff Brooks Euro timbales and congas, Gwen Dickey Euro background vocals, Patrick English Euro trumpet, Kenny Flood Euro tenor saxophone, Phil Rainlin Euro trombone. Recording personnel: Andy Gill Euro producer, Spit Sticks Euro producer, Dave Jordan Euro engineer, Carolyn Collins Euro assistant engineer, Rob Stevens Euro mixing, Barry Conley Euro mixing assistant, Greg Fulginity Euro mastering. Artwork: Gary Planter Euro cover art, Edward Culver Euro photography, Howard Rosenberg Euro photography, Henry Marquez Euro art direction. 2003 remastered version personnel: Kevin Flaherty Euro producer for reissue, Ron McMaster Euro remastering, Kenny Nems Euro project manager, Michelle Azapati Euro art direction, Christine L. Barnard Euro design, John Dinzer Euro photo imaging and additional design, Edward Culver Euro photography, Howard Rosenberg Euro photography, EMI Archives Euro photography. Notes: Kiedis, Anthony. Sloman, Larry. Scar Tissue. New York, Hyperion. ISBN A1-4013-0101-0. References